Good evening and welcome to the coverage of the India Poker Championship from right here at the Big Daddy Casino in Panjim, Goa. The India Poker Championship's first edition of 2020 is underway. We are a couple of hours into this event, which began at 6 p.m. this evening. It's the 10K Kickoff, which is taking place at the moment. The current number of players, as you can see on your screen, is 180, and that is from the 315 players who took part in today's event. They started off with 315, and we're now down to 180 players who are going to battle for the big money at the end of this event.
3,000.
With me in the commentary box is,
500,
well,
please.
before anything else, I should introduce myself too. This is Peter Abraham on behalf of Gutshot Magazine. And I'm delighted to have a very special guest in the commentary booth
3,000
this
raise,
evening
yes.
with us, Mr. Suresh Menon.
Alan.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's so such a fascinating thing to watch this tournament over here, and wonderful that it's gotten so well.
Yeah, it's been a sport that has been in India for about 9 or 10 years now. And even after a decade of being in India, it feels like we are still on the nascent stage as far as the growth of the sport in this country is concerned. So it's fantastic to see the kind of turnouts that we're seeing at the IPC, and Indian players doing really well for themselves abroad and in the regional circuit.
I believe so. I was fortunate to meet some of them yesterday, and today I've been interacting with them, and it's just awesome to be here. You know, it's something that you never thought of. And right now, if you don't mind, I just want to know more about the game because I'm really curious. And what we're seeing on screen right now is this lady obviously distributing cards. Oh, she's mixing and matching them. What's she doing?
So we've got the dealer who's basically putting together the cards, and just a quick check on the players that are at this feature table. You've got Archit Khandelwal, who's in seat number 1. We will come to the individual players as we go along. At the moment, we have one seat is missing a player, so I think they're going to be filling that up really soon. To all the viewers who are catching this action on YouTube and Facebook streams, welcome to the webcast of this 10K event.
And well, it's quite serious. I can see he. Oh God, what did he do?
Folded.
Folded. Oh, okay. That's हाथ जोड़ना पड़ता है, कभी fold करना पड़ता है life में basically. तो उन्होंने fold कर दिया. And we can see that Archit Khandelwal is there, Shruti Juneja is there, Rachit Pathak is in, Pradeep Pathak is in.
Yes, and Pradeep Pathak, who's sitting on a pretty good hand, pocket tens, is obviously got the numbers in his favor, but not by much. We've got an ace-9 with Rachit Pathak, and some of the other players in the mix as well. The small blind and the big blind might come along for the ride.
So normally a novice like me having an ace, I would have been fancying my chances to win. So do you think that's a good hand to hold?
Well, at the moment, the ace is pretty good, and well, there you go. That's going to be bad news for Pradeep Pathak's tens, which have really taken a dive as far as the numbers are concerned. 52% favorite at the moment, Rachit Pathak, with his ace-9, who's hit a pair on the flop. The pot's at about 6K, and we've got Pradeep Pathak, who's made the call.
Alan.
Shruti Juneja has moved all in with Queen 8. A really surprising move here. I'm guessing her short stack has forced her to get her chips into the middle and try and make something of it. But she's going to be looking at a lot of help against that ace of Rachit Pathak, who moves his 100K plus stack into the mix. Pocket tens quickly getting out of the way, and it's heads up between these two players. Pocket tens of Rachit Pathak against the Queen 8 of Shruti Juneja. A king on the turn and a 3 on the river, and that means that the one lady who's out of the two at this feature table will now be heading off, eliminated by the ace pair of Rachit Pathak.
So we can say that she has been clean bowled on this?
She's been clean bowled. Suresh obviously comes from a cricket commentary background, so we're going to hear a lot of mixed analogies as far as the sport of cricket and the sport of poker are concerned. और वैसे भी आपको हिंदी कमेंट्री का तो बहुत
बहुत ज़्यादा ही
शौक
शौक है इस वक्त, और मुझे लगता है कि जिस तरीके से खिलाड़ी अपने बैट यानी कि कार्ड्स को हाथ में पकड़ के बैठे हैं, और हाथ में पकड़ नहीं सकते, ये भी मैंने देखा है कि आप अपने जो ताश है उसको हाथ में नहीं ले सकते हैं, उसको टेबल पे ही रखना पड़ता है, पिच पे रखना पड़ता है।
It's bad form to take your cards off the table. It might end up with some of your opponents seeing something. So जाहिर है
okay.
कि वो प्रोटेक्ट करना ज़रूरी है.
Also, because it's about sport, I got Sachin with me. Hi, Sachin.
Sachin, what do you think of
Yes,
what we're
sir.
seeing at the moment?
Yes, sir. Definitely, I think Rachit Pariyar is doing a great prahar, and he's going to call now, and he's obviously sitting on a lot of money, which I always used to charge for my endorsement. But definitely, we are. There is Rachit Pathak, there is Pradeep Pathak, and there is Rachit Prahar. Very interesting game. It's like विराट एंड रोहित शर्मा आर बैटिंग टुगेदर. ऐसा लग रहा है मुझे यहाँ पर 28% चांस ऑफ हिम विनिंग एंड 18% फॉर अचित एंड 29% is Pradeep Pathak because he's got ace and queen.
Yes, he's woken up with another pretty strong hand, and he's got a couple of other players as well who may fancy their chances and try and get into the mix.
और ये नेहल संतानी का शानदार खेल यहाँ पर, एक राजा और जैक उनके साथ है, जैक सभी के पास होते हैं यहाँ पर, लेकिन शानदार तरीके से खेलते हुए आगे बढ़ते हुए. कैन द कमेंट्री बी सो फास्ट?
Yes, of course. Poker players are pretty sharp. I think they'll pick up on what you're saying. It's all good.
और निहाल वहाँ पर चेक करते हुए, रचित परिहार वो भी चेक करते हुए, रचित पाठक ने भी चेक कर दिया, प्रदीप पाठक को यहाँ पे आगे बढ़ते हुए निहाल संतानी उन्होंने चेक कर दिया, निहाल ने फिर से, और ये ऑप्शन रचित के पास चेक कर दिया, और ये रचित के पास फिर से प्लेइंग हॉकी, मुझे पता नहीं चला, लेकिन और तेजी के साथ यहाँ पर दीपिका वहाँ पर कुछ गाइड कर रही है. आप देख सकते हैं कि बहुत खुश लग रही है क्योंकि उन्होंने बहुत पहले फोल्ड कर दिया है, और ये फिर से शानदार खेल इन्होंने अप कर दिया अपने गेम को, कुछ एडिशनल देखा है शायद.
Well, Rachit Pathak has put out a bet of just under 6K with his ace 2 of diamonds, but I think he might face some resistance here. Oh, Pradeep Pathak has decided to just call, and there's a lot in the pot at the moment, little over 23K. The ace queen is well ahead with a queen pair that Pradeep Pathak is holding.
Check.
Coy check from Rachit Pathak, who's
5,000.
who's going to get out of this hand real quick if there's anything fired out by Pradeep Pathak. No relation, right? Both these Pathaks.
I only know one Pathak, Vinay Pathak. So
Vinay Pathak, hello from Goa.
and that's so. Rachit has folded with an ace diamond and 2 of diamond.
And that's a nice little pot of, well, it's not little by any means, 28K chips going the way of the queen pair of Pradeep Pathak. As you can see, the camera pointing out to the playing area. Rachit Pathak well in the lead with almost double of the other player in the mix, which is Rachit Parihar. I think we've got something going with the graphics here.
They're really serious people over here. मुझे लगता है कि जिस तरीके से मैंने देखा मोहतरमा जो इस तरीके से कार्ड्स फेंक रही हैं इस वक्त it goes so smoothly. What if it goes on reverse and you can see the face of the card? Does it
That's a
happen?
very good question. In such a situation, that card is then moved to the side and treated as a burn card, and the dealer will then deal another card. After all the players have been shown what that exposed card was, she will move it to the side and then deal another card, face down of course, to that particular player because of the dealer error, as it were. Amit Chopra now having a pretty good hand, suited ace jack.
And he's actually looking like, मेरा नाम है चोपड़ा, अमित चोपड़ा, खेलो जो खेलना है. And Deepika doing some introspection over there. I can see the lady on the table who is actually actively playing. The other lady is, of course, the dealer. Who's dealing the cards. And
As expected, Amit Chopra has moved his short stack into the middle, just over 12,000. It's a lot of chips at the moment for Nehal Santani to commit. Considering he doesn't have much of a stack either, he might consider taking a shot.
और नेहाल पता नहीं बहुत ही वरिड लग रहे हैं, परेशान लग रहे हैं. उनको लग रहा है कि जिंदगी का एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण डिसीजन लेना ही पड़ेगा आज.
Absolutely right, Suresh, because this is his tournament life. Well, virtually his tournament life that he's going to be dealing with. There's not much to go if he ends up losing this hand. Just about 3k chips in place. Should things go sideways for him. But he's decided to take that
Oh.
shot. And he's put his stack into the middle.
हिम्मत की कीमत कहते हैं इसे. All
with
in,
king
सब
jack.
लोग अंदर आ गए.
Deepika is in too with
अरे.
the pocket tens. Wow, the tens have made another appearance. So it's
Oh.
ace jack, clubs, king jack of diamonds, and the pocket tens of Deepika. The ace hits for Amit Chopra. Significantly ahead.
Oh.
And
the
Amit
winner
Chopra
is.
will definitely take this spot on that ace pair. Oh, a lot of excitement,
oh,
Suresh. I think
seriously?
you being in the booth has
I think-
kicked the action off in the right way.
I think Chopra, मेरा नाम है Chopra. Amit Chopra had to win. I think he looked confident also. जिस तरीके से he was playing उनके
Yeah, that was a
चेहरे
good hand
पर.
to put in there,
Yeah.
and he'll be pretty happy with the kind of chips that have come his way.
Any worrying points for him वहाँ पर कि शायद ये cards नहीं निकलते तो क्या करता? And maybe Deepika would have won.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the pocket tens are a pretty strong hand, and it's poker. Things change with the turn of any card that comes up on the board. So
Just
it
as
was a
in
good
life.
flop. Yes, yes, poker and life, two things that we all can learn things from. So it's a good hand for Chopra to have won as the dealer portions out the chips. Deepika will certainly feel a little bit disappointed that her pocket pair didn't hold up, but hey, that's poker.
But I don't see anyone giving a what you call a good luck thing to the dealer who's.
As you can see here clearly that Suresh is not very savvy with the sport. There are good luck chips that are given, but on the cash game table.
Oh, okay.
That's the dealer tips that
See, live and learn. It's a
Yeah.
tournament happening, so it's not a.
that's what we're here to do. We're here to entertain and educate. So, student of the year, the new student of the
The
year,
new
Suresh
student.
Menon in the house.
One, yeah, absolutely. I would love to be learn more about this game. It's quite fascinating actually, you know.
And
Is-
before we say too much about, we take too much of the Mickey out of Suresh. He has actually played in this evening's tournament. He got busted a little bit earlier than he expected, I'm sure.
Yeah, because I went all in with some ridiculous amount, and the guy next to me actually laughed at me and just threw me out. So never mess with professional players. They're good players. They practice a lot, and so there's no uniform as such when you play poker, right? You can wear
Not
whatever
really.
you want.
I mean, you've got people who think that the official uniform for playing poker is hoodies and sunglasses, but and you can see a couple of those at the table as well. There are people who choose to wear more clothing and cover their face by those big ass hoodies that they're wearing. I
And
just
some
said,
of them just grow a beard.
yes, some of them do. You can see Deepika's.
I'm very fascinated by those two guys sitting on Deepika's left hand side. Both of them look very serious. The guy with the glasses, he's been around for a long time. बहुत सारे games खेल चुके हैं already.
Right.
तो he looks as if उनको कुछ पता है, कुछ तो पता है.
Well, I think that's the motivation of, or that's the motive of every poker player who's trying to make sure that they are putting their best game face on, and you don't want to give anything away by your expression at the table. And the whole idea behind maintaining that poker face is very critical at the table in life too. So yeah,
So everyone has checked and that's it. Somebody's won. Is it fold? Who folded? Deepika's folded.
Deepika had made
And
the initial
Rachit?
bet, and
Oh.
Rachit Pariyar decides to.
So
a little aggressive.
this round goes to Rachit, right?
Yes.
But Deepika could have held on to her.
She could have, but I think that move by Rachit pretty much made sure that her slightly weak ace wasn't really going to go the distance.
Rachit's-
Rachit Pathak very much ahead with that 110k stack, and right at the bottom is Nehal Santani, who was looking quite serious a while back. I'm sure he's looking even more serious and looking for some help to get through his chip stack to a better stage.
Yes, definitely we can see that it's a long innings, and after the first innings, people are still batting. Nobody's out as of now, excepting for a young lady who went off early, but the rest of them are looking very, very intense.
Very intense. There's a fair amount of money at stake here. Just to let our viewers know that this is the final table. I beg your pardon, this is the featured table that we're showing this webcast on. And we have some known players in the field. The gentleman on your screen right now, Ash Grover, one of the bright poker talents of this country. He's done well for himself at various live tournaments in other parts of the world, and quite the online crusher as well.
So you would call him Ranveer Singh of poker?
I would say so. The beard also adds to the effect, so yeah, sure, why not? I do believe there's a fair amount of poker players who are in Bollywood, and I'm sure you know a few of them.
Yeah, but every Friday Bollywood players play poker.
Right.
It's all a matter of luck.
It's that weekly game that makes and breaks their fortunes.
I guess they play poker till that time. It's the first two cards are dealt. After that, when the flop comes, they're very scared. So
Right.
they don't like flops.
So the new players at the table, Arsh Grover, as we mentioned, who's sitting on a 16 big blind stack, and right after him, Vikash Rai is the other new player who have taken up the two empty slots that were vacated a little while ago. It's a full table of 9 players.
You first.
And some really serious looking players look like Bollywood stars themselves.
Yeah, I like that, the look that our friend there in seat number 8 has got going.
Leap of faith. That's Woody and Pradeep Patak. फिर से 43%. My God, उनका 65% तक उनका चांस, 69% तक फिर से आगे चले गए. कॉल का हर्ष ग्रोवर यहाँ पर मंजे हुए खिलाड़ी और चैंपियन रह चुके हैं, और निहाल जबरदस्त तरीके से अंदर घुस गए इस वक्त.
With
All in
ace
आ गए
10
हैं.
of hearts. And he's leading the pack at the moment. Rest of the players gonna fold.
In
It's up
my
to Pradeep Patak to decide whether he wants to
oh,
tangle with the short stack here.
in my short career of poker, Ace of Hearts and Ten of Hearts didn't do well for me. I thought I would get all the same colored cards, but it doesn't happen that way. And there's so many players on the table, right?
Absolutely.
82%.
Yeah, it's a bit of a decision for Pradeep Patak at the moment. He's not sitting on a very huge stack, but it will take a little bit out of there. And I'm sure he doesn't want to give his chips away easy.
Oh, what happened there?
He's
Pradeep.
decided to be safe and not give any more chips to Nehal Santani. And Santani will scoop up that pot of just about 3.5. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Just under 11K.
Oh.
Take it down. He's right up there. The other players at the table, as we mentioned, Amit Chopra, Archit Khandelwal, who's a pretty well-known quantity. In the lower half, you've got Deepika Agarwal. And
Are these two guys brothers? They seem to be sitting and meditating over there. अभी तक ज़्यादा action नहीं है.
yeah, poker is a game of patience. I mean, there's a lot of... you can spend a long time before you come across a good end, and sometimes, in fact, most times, it's not really advisable to let things slide. You need to make action happen. You need to do something to make sure that your stack is either at average or better if possible. Ash Grover decides to move in with his ace king of diamonds.
My God, I just saw Nihal do something really weird. He saw his cards and sort of very slowly, unhappily pushed it across. So a lot of things also are dependent on the people's expressions over there. People do observe them to get some clues, right?
Absolutely. Poker at the live tables is definitely a combination of not just math and numbers and logic. It's got a lot of people reading skills that are involved, and you can see some of the best players across the world who possess that skill, and some players like Daniel Negreanu even call out the cards that their opponents have, which is stunning. Some of these YouTube videos that you'll see, it's pretty incredible when you come across that kind of face reading.
So I assume that it involves not only a sport, it's also fine arts, it's also ability to, magic a little bit. No, I don't think it's magic at all. It's pure confidence and pure judgment.
Absolutely. In fact, new players, when they see these kind of videos, if there are any players who are new to poker, you probably started watching some videos on YouTube from events like the World Series of Poker or the World Poker Tour and things like that, or even this live stream for that matter. But those are condensed versions of an 8-hour day or 9-hour day. So they typically put together the most exciting parts of the day's play, and they've packaged that for you. So you end up seeing what might seem like an absolutely crazy play from a player, but you don't know what the history behind that play is. So a lot of the new players who start seeing these videos kind of get taken in with the fact that they can do anything at the table with their two cards and get away with it. That's not how things work. Um, but hey, we're watching the live stream of things as they happen here at the IPC, and this is the way the game is played. And so you get to see firsthand just how players have to grind through the course of a day in order to make that stack and get into day two.
Oh. So a lot of pressure on them, obviously, because it's not only about your skills, but it's also about your reputation.
Yeah, the pro players definitely will have that in mind too.
The real players always play with some tentative hands.
Now what's happening? There's a pre-flop, which is
We've got Vikas Rai who's decided to bump it up to 3.3k, and that's good enough to get Arshad Khandelwal to fold.
Bikash Rai is still in. Has he raised?
He has, and he's won the pot.
He's on the pot.
I don't think a lot of players didn't have too many good hands, and from that strong position of the button, Rai made a good raise and claimed that pot. Nehal Santani still struggling at the bottom of the heap. Just 9 big blinds in play for him. And Rachit Pathak's lost a few, but he's still over the 100k mark, which is good for him. And he will be looking to consolidate as we go along.
So I can see Harsh Grover having just one expression throughout from the time he's walked in. He's not changed much where his facial expressions are concerned. So I get a feeling that, an actor like Rahul Rai would have done very well.
All right, Suresh, you can say these things and get away with it. I'm going to have to try and mind my analogies, not like you.
No, I'm just saying there's certain actors in the industry, like even I, for the longest time in my career, I had just one expression. So
Really?
so maybe I should have started playing
I don't
poker
think
at that
anyone
time.
who knows you now will ever think that you had those one expression situations before.
See, maybe after marriage I had just one expression. So
Fair enough. Ash Grover in the action again from under the gun. He's raised it up with King Jack to 2,500. And Bikash Rai is not going anywhere.
Call.
He's got an ace jack and he makes that call. Another jack in the hole, but that player folds. Rachit Khandelwal is going to fold. 10-6 is not going to get Amit Chopra to call this, although he is in the big blind. And yep, commentator's curse, he does exactly the opposite of what I thought he'd do. But he has been priced in and is going to come along for the ride.
I must tell Harsh Grover also, the same cards I had and I had to pack.
Harsh, if you can hear us, which I'm not
Obviously.
sure you can.
Oh,
Some
but
words of advice from...
But now he's got 2 kings on his side, so
There you
maybe
it always works. Fortune favors the brave. And in this case, the brave gets another king to pair him up. Although it's a diamond board, that might not keep him too comfortable. Considering there are a couple of players after him. He's still fired out though, with a bet of 2,000 chips.
How do
Actions
you-
on Bikash Rai.
how do you discover a poker prodigy?
I think more than anything else, it's
I'm
about consistency.
From childhood, somebody who lies very well or something like that.
Oh, you
पिताजी
mean
मेरा
that way.
homework नहीं किया.
Well, I think most teenage boys would probably fall in that category. We've all said a white lie or two back in our youth.
Is
Okay,
there any,
let's not go there. I mean, I think there's some horror stories that will start coming out if we start going down that road.
tell me something, is there any particular way that these people have to train, these lovely players?
Call.
I think Deepika's upset about some little bit of distraction coming from behind right now, and I feel some celebs walking past over there and being just calling
I
out to her.
think Deepika is actually the distraction here. She's wearing that orange jacket, which is so bright. I think she could land planes into Goa.
Yes.
So, 2 kings on the board, which gives a set to Arsh Grover. Excellent poker face, if I may say so. He is dancing inside, but the second king will also put Bikash Rai in a bit of a spot. Very coyly checked by Arsh Grover, and that induces a bet from Bikash Rai. So here's where you see someone like Arsh Grover, who basically has pulled the trigger. He set up the trap, and he's put everything in there. It seems extremely unlikely that Bikash Rai will make the call, because with 1 card to go and with nothing on that board to connect in any way for his whole cards. It seems like this might be the bet that ends this hand.
This guy looks very dangerous, let me tell you. He may not like it if he loses. He looks like a really tough guy, and right now I don't think he's very happy with what's happening over there.
Everyone's looking intently at what Bikash Rai wants to do here. Am I going to face the brunt of the commentator's curse?
Commentator's curse has no curse over here, and you can see Arsh Grover is what, like almost like Gulshan Grover, that conference, bad man.
Bad.
Fold.
They're all looking right now, just looking at each other, staring each other down.
Yeah,
What's going to
pretty
happen over
fair.
here?
That's pretty much it. Bikash Rai has folded. That's a nice spot that Arsh Grover, he played it absolutely the way it was meant to be played, and he'll be happy to scoop those extra chips.
And Arsh is still not showing any happiness. It's like he's got lots of chips already, and he's not, he's seriously not showing any sort of emotion. Like, yes, yeah.
I think that's what differentiates the pro level players with against the.
Nothing moves them.
Well, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, they know that the eye is on the big prize, which will happen tomorrow. Just a reminder to our viewers that this is a 2-day event,
Big blind how much?
and well, unless someone goes absolutely insane and just cleans out the field over the course of the next couple of hours, next, I would say, 5 hours perhaps,
Oh,
action is going to be called at the end of level 14, if I'm not wrong, and that should be somewhere around 3 a.m. this morning.
That. About
he looks like a
24.
rapper, let me tell you. People on
Yeah.
the move.
He's got the look going for sure.
And their classical singer, Arsh Grover, very silent, the silent killer. And Nihal next to him, seriously wondering, आगे क्या किया जाए जिंदगी में? I think
Don't
he's-
worry, Nehal, we're just pulling your leg, buddy. We know it's a serious game. We know you're absolutely concerned about that stack and you want to make the best of it. But hey, we've got 2 goofballs in the studio right now in the sound booth. And we want to have a little bit of fun. Pradeep Pathak has raised the action up with his ace deuce of diamonds and gets a call from Arsh Grover in the big blind. 2 hearts on that flop.
26% ace.
Couple of queens out there.
I think Pradeep has.
5,000.
Yes, he is ahead at the moment with that second pair. He's got queens up.
So those 3 cards that have come up now, they are the flops.
That's the
Right.
flop. Those are the first 3 community cards that open up in Texas Hold'em and even Port Limit Omaha.
Now, since you're doing it in India, why can't we call them something like Panjim Hold'em, India Hold'em, Andheri Hold'em?
Very Hold'em. Clearly, we're from Bombay, and therefore all these references to places that
Dehradun
some
Hold'em.
of our viewers might not be aware.
Trivandrum Hold'em.
Right. We are an all-encompassing game.
Line 6 in a row. Now it's
We've got a
slowly going up. Huh?
new player who's taken up the lowest spot on the chip counts, and that's Bikash Rai with 6 big blinds.
I think Nihal is going to be the dark horse. Somewhere he's slowly edging his way up.
You really are a fan of the underdog, huh? Well, that's a romantic thought, and we certainly hope that the player in question, Nihal, builds on that stack. It'll be a very, very fun 180 that he'll manage to pull off if that happens. Realistically, though, he needs to make a move or 2 really soon before the blinds engulf whatever's remaining of that little stack of his. Pocket 10s for Rachit Pathak, and sure enough, he raises it up to 2,700 chips, sitting on the biggest stack at the table, just over 100k.
हर्ष ग्रोवर फिर से मैदान में देख रहे हैं इस वक्त क्या करने वाले हर्ष ग्रोवर शानदार तरीके से कार्ड्स को
फेंक दिया.
फेंक दिया फोल्ड कर लिया है यहाँ पर रचित और निहाल के बीच में ये कंपटीशन जारी रहेगा रचित रेस कर दिया है
And Nihal is folded because
What?
his 10-6 doesn't really do anything for him. And that's the counts once again. Rachit has pulled back some more chips to bump it up back over the 110k mark. Blinds at 600, 1200 and 1200 ante also in play at the moment. Right, I should stop saying Rachit all the time because there are two Rachits at the table, so it's going to be Pathak and Parihar from now on.
Like Gavaskar and Chauhan.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about sports right here on this live stream from the India Poker Championships 10K kickoff event.
I think whenever Amit Chopra comes, he really comes into this game, you know, because Mera naam hai Chopra, Amit Chopra.
Yeah, that surname is like a really strong, heavy
Yeah. And it's
kind of a surname that's there. My favorite Chopra is the one from Bazigar, the Shah Rukh Khan film, where he's uska Madan Chopra kar diya or something like that.
yeah. Madan Chopra. Oh,
All right,
Harsh has come in all in.
that's a strong move from Harsh.
So is this also done to scare the other players into not reaching the flop stage as yet?
Yeah, that's he's got a decent hand and he's also got position. He's on the dealer button, and that's something that a lot of players will take advantage of and try and make a move just to pick up some free chips. No one's really going to tangle with a player who's showing that much strength. You'd expect someone who's got, well, it would be bad news for Harsh if someone had pockets or big cards in their hole. Fortunately for him, none of that. And he's
God.
added a few more to his count.
I could just see Harsh Grover, the way he's climbing up. He's in a hurry.
Yeah, he was.
He's taken
in
the lift.
Top, yeah, he was like in the bottom two, and now he's in the top five. So
He's just taking the lift.
Very well done.
Do you think he screams at times and he dances, hops up and down, you know, just does some somersault sometimes?
I have a feeling that every poker player has a secret rage room built somewhere where they can just go and remove their frustrations, buy a hockey stick or maybe a cricket bat and go to the tarboos wala and buy a few watermelons and smack the crap out of those things just to deal with the frustration and vent it out with all the bad beats that they've perhaps got over the course of their grind. Oof. Pathak, Rachit Pathak that is, picks up a nice hand, ace jack.
Deepika
Mix it
looking
up.
very, very sad right now. Rachit Pathak is ace and
The
jack.
other Pathak, I mean, I beg your pardon, the other Rachit Parihar has pocket deuces and he will make the call. Just two players heads up and we go into a flop. 5, 6, 8, rainbow.
Check.
Rachit Parihar still in the lead with his deuces. Although he can't be happy about the overcards that are on the board. I think Rachit Pathak might try and fire one here just to see where he stands with his hand.
And I think I'll also be making a move very soon because I need to practice this game and, you know, really observe and learn a lot. I would like to call upon the legend of commentary, poker commentary, Mr. Richie will be joining us shortly.
Yes, Richard Hariaso will be on his way inside. Many thanks to Suresh Menon. But before we let him go, we have a look at this flop here. And a jack on the river.
क्या बात है भाई आज
Who
तो
won?
बादशाह हो गए हो इस
That's
देख
it.
के यार।
Mr. Pathak.
क्या
I'm
भाई
telling you, he's keeping them at a
He had
stock.
to take a
Let's
shot
check
at
his
that.
stock
He's
list.
hit
man,
his
move.
jack pair as well. And with that,
सही है भाई।
Rachit Pathak has increased his stack now to 118,000 chips.
Deepika still looking slightly studious and
She's been card dead for a while. It can get to you at a point, and she's also one of the lower stacks, so it's not a great place to be. It would be nice to have something to push with. It doesn't have to be big cards, but it can be something that you can work with, maybe suited connectors, or take advantage of your position and get some chips in there and try and maybe exert the stack that's in there. However,
meanwhile, just a call out to Mr. Richard.
yes, we will get
Richard,
Richard.
Mr.
Richard's on
Richard.
his way, but we'd like to extend our thanks to Suresh Menon for being so kind and joining us in the commentary booth here at the IPC 10K Kickoff. Thank you so much, sir.
I wish
we
you
had
all
a
the
great
best.
fun, and we hope to bring you back in at some point, maybe in the next edition, or maybe if you're here for the next couple of days, maybe.
Maybe, but nothing sure. But it's been a really wonderful experience watching this, and I'm thinking I should. This is a new career for me in poker commentary.
Poker commentary could be the new career.
Of course, I
mean,
need to learn more about the game before I start commenting like a pro.
absolutely. I mean, you can head off and, well, we did speak about you trying your hand at online poker, so if you want,
Yes, I will be
you can
catching
absolutely get on there and learn the nuances a little bit more.
Ball.
Thank you, Suresh.
on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Peter, for having me over here. It's been wonderful, and I wish everyone the very best for this wonderful sport. Thank you.
Ball. Ball.
All right, and as Suresh Menon,
5,000.
who has entertained us for the last half an hour, 1 hour, time flies, man, when you're in the booth. Thanks to Suresh Menon for joining us in the commentary booth here at the IPC 2020 edition, the 10K event that's in play right now.
2,500.
We're at the feature table, and once again, this is a 2-day event. We will play up to probably around 3:30 a.m. and the players that remain will come back tomorrow and play down to
Check.
crown the title.
Check.
I beg your pardon, crown the winner.
Check.
A lot of players in the mix at the moment. Checks all around.
Check.
Ash Grover's not going to let things slide. Oh, well, once
Check.
again, I got that wrong. He's also decided to check. And fair enough, he's got a small club and doesn't really want to take too many chances there.
4,000.
4 of diamonds on that
3,000.
turn. And Pradeep Pathak fires out after clipping that 4 to give him a pair. Although with that king,
12.
Amit Chopra is going to try
12. 12.
and make sure he extracts some more chips. The clubs can't be making him too happy, but he does have top pair at the moment.
It's up.
Last card to come out, and it's
Check.
a queen of diamonds. Amit Chopra has locked it in for this hand. Now let's decide, and now he needs to decide
Check.
just how much he wants to go. And predictably enough, that's the end of the hand. Amit Chopra scoops up that pot, little over 20,000 chips. And he'll be happy to stack them up as we move into the next hand. Here's the chip count, 115,000 for Rachit Pathak, who's sitting on top of the heap. His namesake, Rachit Parihar, with a stack of 53.7 thousand. And down at the bottom, Vikas Rai, who's hoping to get something going, and giving him company is Nehal Santani, who's also on a similar stack.
He took my.
Well, here we go.
Someone has to take
Bullets
something to
for
eliminate
Archit Khandelwal. He's been patient for a while now. He's been looking for a hand, and the poker gods deign to be kind,
Game.
giving him.
Someone has to lose. Someone has to win.
All right. I believe we had a slight glitch
Poker
with
is
the
a war,
graphics. I saw aces on board. I'm not sure whether that's the case for Archit Khandelwal's whole cards. We're just gonna get that checked. Amit Chopra has a decent hand too. Ace 8 of spades. Yep, I don't see cards in front of Archit Khandelwal, so a slight glitch in the graphics.
Ball.
Harsh Grover gives it up, as does Nehal Santani, looking extremely frustrated and slamming those chips down, not really getting a hand, and he is struggling to make that short stack survive at this table. 600 to call for Rachit Pathak with 9-10 suited, I beg your pardon, connectors, and he raises that up. Vikas Rai folds his ace deuce, and that is the end of the hand. We are still awaiting on Richard Haridal Som to join us in the commentary box. And in the meantime, we will follow the action here at this IPC 10K kickoff.
Small blind, big blind.
Harsh Grover in the middle of the pack. He's done well for himself from being at the lower end of the counts. He's moved into the middle. Still a long way to go to catch up to this table leader, Rachit Pathak.
You big blind. And then yeah, 1,200, 1,200.
Rest of the floor, as you can see, the other tables that are running. And in the background, the feature table where we are bringing you
Fold,
this commentary from.
fold.
The India Poker Championship 2020, brought to you by Money Control, Spartan Poker,
7,900
powered by our venue, Big Daddy Casino in Goa.
Cards.
नहीं मानोगे पता नहीं.
Sir, card like online.
As you can see, that triangle that's in there indicates that a player has gone all in. In this case, it's the short stack of Nehal Santani.
Fold. 900.
Few folds around him,
You call.
and he gets a call
Open.
by Pradeep Pathak, who's got Queen Jack suited, and that's not going to be a happy thing for Nehal Santani to see because he's lost out on two hearts. And he's facing overcards here, but anything can happen on the flop. And that's exactly what's happened. A 9 for Nehal Santani, who moves ahead. And with that queen, though. Oh, the river, the river, the river. That's the end of
Straight.
the chips for Nehal Santani, as Pradeep Pathak has made queens up. And we see a player eliminated at this feature table, Nehal Santani, who fought hard, who fought long, but was unable to go the distance. Had to put his final chips in there to try and make a go of it with 9-8 suited. The flop looked good for him with a pair there, 9s up. But unfortunately, the river gods did not extend the kindness till the river.
800.
Pradeep Pathak hitting his queen and eliminating Nehal Santani from this feature table. We should have someone else taking their spot in the mix. And as we speak, Richard Haridasom is getting mic'd up
Small blind, big blind.
and going to be joining me here in the commentary booth.
800. 1,600 to call.
Amit Chopra gets out of the way, as will Harsh Grover.
Call.
Deepika Agarwal is looking for some help, and she decides to make her move with ace 8 and puts all the remaining chips that she has into the middle.
Call.
She'll be hoping to scoop up some of these blinds,
800.
but Bikash Rai has picked up a legit hand as well, ace jack, and he is significantly ahead at the moment.
Open. Cards.
Both players show their cards, and there you go, Deepika. Little frustrated gesture there. Finally picking up a hand that she could go in with, but
Still ahead.
and that, as they say, is that we've lost another player. Have we lost another player?
What?
No, I believe my apologies. Bikash Rai was actually a short stack, so Deepika Agarwal will only give a few chips away. And she stays very much at this feature table with her stack of now what is just under 20,000 in chips. The blinds are still at 600, 1200, 1200 being the ante. Bikash Rai has added to some of his stack, but still there at the bottom of the counts, from 6 big blinds to 9 big blinds. And with that soft that you might have heard, we welcome Richard Haridasom into commentary. Richie,
Thank you, Peter.
welcome.
What's up? Did
Man,
you
I've
miss
been
me?
doing some heavy lifting in this commentary, man. I just hope I haven't alienated some of the viewers with the kind of stuff that me and Suresh Menon were talking about a while ago. But He's such a fun guy. He's just goofing off.
He's awesome. He's awesome. I was in fact listening to your commentary and I was just laughing my ass off. It's awesome that we had the chance to have Suresh with us in the commentary box. It was fun to watch him, and I am excited and I think a lot of action has taken place. Fill me in, Peter. What's happening on this table?
So the feature table has been, in fact, a very feature-filled table with a lot of eliminations. I think we've lost 4 players by this time, and they've been replaced with a few others. Neil Santani was the last casualty at this feature table, and he has now been replaced with a lady player, clearly obvious from the back of her head there. I'm not sure who she is though. We'll wait for that information to filter through. Or if we could have a look at her face, that'll be good too.
Fold.
Yeah, we have some big names as well. I think Arch has been very active at this table. At least a couple of hands back, I saw him go all in with the Trip Kings.
Yeah, he's been doing well, and he actually played that hand really well, and that's the reason why he moved up from the lower half of the chip counts into the middle. But I'm guessing he's going to look at consolidating that even further as we go along.
Yeah, as we speak, Arch is in the mix of the Queen King 10 board with an open ender. He's definitely liking the spot. He's probably going to take a stab at it.
5,500.
There you go.
Why, Rajat Pathak is not going anywhere. Neither is, I think, Pradeep Pathak, unless the bet is significantly big from...
Yeah, everybody's got a nice piece
Wait,
of
so
this
there are
flop.
2 Rachits and there are 2 Pathaks. This is getting quite...
I think we should stick to the full names.
Yeah, Rajat Pathak it is. With 2 pair at the moment. Kings up.
5,500.
Yeah, Rachit has the best hand. Mr. Rachit Pathak, I mean, has the best hand with the King 10.
Fold. It's up.
Pradeep makes a very disciplined fold there. He had top pair, but he knew the kicker wouldn't do him any good. This is an action killer card.
Yeah.
The Jack is going to be a scary card for both of these players.
You got 1 card straights that are happening here, and the way the betting's been going, it's very possible that each player thinks that the other could have an ace.
And this bet I really like by Arsh. He's continuing the aggression. He's representing the ace and 9. It's a great spot for him to bet. Any other hand besides the straight is going to be in a very tough spot to make this call. And this is where the experience shows. He has made a very nice bet.
Yeah,
Smallish in the sense that it looks like a value bet.
right. About a fifth of the pot, and
Rachit, of course, with the 2 pair is not going anywhere. He's going to see a river, and it's up to Arsh if he's gonna he gives up.
Check.
Rachit will be happy to check back.
That would have been, well, I mean, it would have been really ballsy if Arsh had continued with another bullet, but
Yeah, it's a tough spot for him to bet because the board is so scary for him as well. There you have Rachit Pathak extending his lead, the 39% of the chip stacks, well over 100k. He's got twice as many chips as anybody else on the table. And bringing up the rear is Bikash Rai with 7 BB. He needs to do something really quick to get back in the game. The blinds at 800, 1600 with a 1600.
oh hey, the blinds changed. They've gone up finally.
Yes.
But that's not good news for a lot of people who are on this feature table because the value of their stack just dipped a little. Still a few smiles around though, and some of those are on the faces of people who are not holding the biggest of stacks, but that's good. It's all about making sure that you're in it, because if you're in it, you could win it. And that's the start of the cheesy lines for this particular count.
This is where it goes downhill. So Aishwarya Khurana is the new player at the table. We finally caught her name. She makes a easy fold with the 10-8 off.
I am envying everyone who's sitting at that feature table and wearing a jacket, because right now where we're sitting in the commentary booth is probably close to, well, there's a Hindi saying kulfi jam gayi, and this
Yeah.
kulfi is jamoing pretty quickly, so if someone can get us a shawl or two.
I have a really awesome picture of you from last time where you were wearing the shawl.
Thanks, Rachit.
I'm gonna
I need
bring.
to live,
I'm gonna.
relive that moment all over again.
Yeah, it is pretty chilly, and which is why I took a jacket.
I
Peter.
look like some cheap, that Turkey Thakur type with the
that's-
whole thing folded around my head and shoulders.
Yeah, and I think we had a really long stream that day, and yeah, it's a funny picture. I'll try and embarrass you at some point by posting it. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
So we're looking at Rachit Pathak. He's getting really aggressive with the 9-4. Pradeep Pathak with the pocket sevens, leading into this turn, which is the Queen of Clubs.
Big cards are going to do it. And yeah, the scare of those have
The Battle of the Pathaks. And Pradeep Pathak
Battle of the Pathaks.
takes that one down. We are heading to a break in about 16 minutes. As you see, we are going to end day one at level 18.
For those of you who have just joined us, 315 players had taken part in this 10K kickoff event. We're now down to 126.
There we have it.
Oh, well done, camera person. We've got that whole zoom and pan effect going really well. That's the floor at the Big Daddy Casino, level 2. If you're still not in Goa, come on down. There's still 3 more events left in the schedule with the High Roller kicking off tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow is going to be the big one with the big cheese up top. So 1 lakh rupee buy-in game. That's going to be very exciting. It's going to start at about 6 p.m. tomorrow. We obviously will wrap up the day 2 of the kickoff as well tomorrow with the final table stream happening. Do check out the stream on Gutshot and Facebook and YouTube. Rachit Pathak back in action. He's got ace 10, a nice looking hand. He makes a raise.
Fold. Fold.
Also, I was telling you, Peter, I really love the table numbers that we've done this time around. It's amazing. It's very convenient for the players to get to their tables. That's a nice addition.
Yes,
Along with
thank you, production. It's been a less of a fight this time to identify and do some commentary, knowing who's sitting where.
Also, not to forget, we have all in. It's ace 10 versus the sevens, and the ace 10 has got some piece of the action. Harsh Grover is the player to be eliminated. One of the notable players. Well played, Harsh. Good show.
That's a little bit rough for. He was really battling and he managed to make a little bit of a go of it, but well, as in poker, these things happen, and we've lost another player from this featured table.
Rachit Pathak taking a well-deserved break from the table. He's been very active.
Yeah, it's tiring to have so many chips in front of you, right, Rachit? Almost 150k in front of Rachit Pathak. Now really opening up that lead between him and the rest of the players at this final table.
The Pathaks dominating this table. Deepika Agarwal and Bikash Rai bringing up the rear of this table. We have a decent chip stacks at this table. There's a lot of play that is going to happen. Besides Bikash Rai, he needs to do something. He has been hanging around waiting for a good opportunity to double up. I'm actually waiting for a hand where neither of the Pathaks participate.
Yes,
I
that'll
don't
be
think I've
fun.
seen that for a while.
Come on, Archit Khandelwal, Amit Chopra. Can we please have you guys in a hand now?
Small blind 800.
Oh no.
I'll
Peter, this
Shwarya
time-
Khurana, we'll have you in the hand too. That'll help as far as names are concerned.
There you go. Deepika Agarwal is going all in with the ace jack off. She has been quiet for some time now, and she
She's
is.
been really patient playing that stack of hers and unfortunately lost a little bit, but
And
the
she's
short stack-
disappointed.
Oh, well, that's how it goes. And she was one of the blinds. We just saw the disc move, so not all that many chips coming her way. But hey, she'll take whatever she gets. Hanging in there.
I love the screen at the feature table. This is amazing. Again, a great job done by the production team. It looks amazing. I mean, I had the chance to see it while they were setting it up, and it's an amazing, a very aesthetic setup to look at.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I actually was standing by the table when they fired up the LEDs 2 nights ago, and my first thought was, I think it's a little too bright. These players might get distracted, but it's pretty comfortable. It's The lights are capped at a point where the players can see their cards comfortably. It's not very distracting for players like Deepika and Aishwarya who are actually facing the screen. Um, it's bright, but it's not disruptive. And we see another hooded gentleman into the mix, taking up that vacant spot that Ash Grover was in just a few minutes ago. And he's brought his entire bankroll with him in that satchel. Is that satchel? Is that the word? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think so.
3,800 raise.
We don't know what Amit Chopra has, but it's good enough for him to make a raise. And
Peter finally gets his shawls, so he is going to get comfortable and try to keep himself.
wow, they're really kind, man. They gave me 3 shawls. Yep, it's that cold in the booth.
They saw your photo from last time. You had like
And
3.
it's just a setup. I think they're just looking to get another picture of me doing this whole Thakur thing and, well, comfort before anything else.
As you can see on the screen, Nikunj Junjunwala, he's been one of our top players. He's always in the mix, winning a couple of titles at the IPC.
Yes, Nikunj Junjunwala, who won the high roller and the main event in the 2015-16 season. And just on the back of those 2 events, which were pretty good in terms of turnout, record-breaking in fact for that season, he went on to capture the India Player of the Year title as well.
Check.
We are having some difficulties with the graphics. As you can see, there's a ace-5 queen-queen board.
Amit Chopra was the initial aggressor, and he's got Aishwarya, who is, we can see some cards in front of her, so she's in the hand. And hey, there we go.
3-way action.
Oh, the cards are still not revealed, so we're going to wait to see what they are.
Fold.
And Aishwarya picking up that pot. She played a hand after a while, and she very rightly takes it down.
Yeah, I think players just giving her the respect for the kind of hand that she probably had, which we have no idea about because we still are facing some visual issues with the RFID capturing those whole cards. Deepika Agarwal being entertaining, her usual entertaining self at the table. Got some smiles going
Small blind.
from the short stacks.
You look good, baby. That's all that matters.
For our viewers, this edition of the IPC is special in more than one way. We've got the main event which will happen on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and this time around, being the first edition of this particular season, the IPC main event holds even more of a special feel because the winner of that main event will be crowned the India Poker Champion of the 2020 season. Big honor, an instant celebrity, I would say, in the poker community with a win at this particular main event. And yeah, for sure, to be crowned the national champion of poker would be a huge honor for whoever that player is.
You are also giving away a very, very beautiful watch.
Yeah, man. I mean, eyeing that thing like really,
That
really
is
hard.
a beauty.
So for people who may not be aware, the India Poker Champion, along with all the prizes, cash prizes that he or she will take away, there are also some add-on prizes by the online partner Spartan Poker, which is giving away a 20 lakh rupee sponsorship to play in various live events, including, of course, the IPC. And what Richie was referring to is a sweet looking Luminor Panerai watch, which is a limited edition MS Dhoni watch.
Ball.
It's a really sweet timepiece. Timepiece, yeah, that's how old I am.
I think
A watch, I should say, a watch that is being given away as one of the lovely prizes to the India Poker Champion.
Yeah, so I think that's enough and more motivation for you to come down and play the main event. There's a lot, up for grabs, along with really big cash prize. A sponsorship deal that is amazing. 20 lakhs, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of tournaments,
That
and
is.
it's a great opportunity for anyone who wants to take poker seriously and get a chance to be backed by a big brand in itself, which is India Poker Championship, and get a chance to play a lot of these events that we are having.
Yeah, the live scene in Goa has undergone a pretty big rejuvenation over the last 12 months.
You first.
Many of the big tournament series have restarted, including, of course, the IPC, which did its comeback edition in September.
Ball.
There were some terrific numbers across the events in that particular edition. And in this one too, we've gone ahead and crossed the guarantee amount with the 315 players who took part in today's event. The guarantee was for about 300 players.
3,000.
So already a lot of value for players who are taking part in this 10K kickoff. And it should be a pretty sweet first place prize.
Yeah, it's
Which will be
a
paid
good
out.
time to be a poker player, and like Amin always says, good things are happening in poker.
Indeed. What I like about the comeback of all of these brands, like the IPC, is that
Ball.
the trajectory of this game is just
Ball. Ball.
going upwards. There have been some dips. There's no question about that. We've had periods where, for various reasons, the live scene has taken a little bit of a toll. But it seems like we come back stronger, and it's fantastic that the kind of base of players that we've got in the country are contributing to the growth of the game. So it's terrific. There are new faces coming into every event, and this can only be good for the game.
Yeah, I think the poker community has always been very resilient in this sense that they've always been very supportive of live events and new games coming up, and at the same time I think a lot of tournament organizers and companies are putting a lot of effort to spread the word, get the game out there. A lot of new faces coming in poker. The numbers that we're looking at today are unbelievable. I mean, the amount of people that are showing up,
5,000.
traveling to a place for a week to play a bunch of tournaments is very good to see. Yeah, obviously, tournament organizers like the IPC have been also giving back a lot to the community, in various ways. Not only through organizing such amazing events where there's so much value for poker players, at the same time offsetting things like TDS and giving back to the community, making sure that there is enough and more to play for, and keep coming back, and be part of this amazing sport. I think overall, a lot of good things are happening by virtue of passion for the game. At the same time, I think the organizers are doing a great effort, and you see a lot of people just come for the brand. There's so many players who I had the chance to meet today who have probably not been playing as much poker as they would like, but they do not want to miss an event like the India Poker Championship, because there's some form of emotional attachment to the brand, and they know they're going to have a good time. There's that kind of faith that they come with, which is fantastic to see. And I hope this is a great year for poker in India, and we keep having bigger and better events throughout the year.
Amen, brother. And the hand that I frequently mistake for pocket aces is what Amit Chopra has got. A couple of fours in the hole for Amit Chopra.
And
Okay,
we see
then.
the hand that you mistake it for, the pocket ace, is well in the mix.
Wow.
We got 3 pocket pairs already.
There should be
What are the
some
odds that we
action
have
in
another
this.
one? Okay, there we go. Because all in with the pocket aces, easiest decision she's made today.
Yeah, fingers crossed, Deepika.
I think she'll lose it if everybody folds.
Yeah, oh no, she's got a metal can of Coke in her hand. She's probably gonna like slam that on the floor if she doesn't get some value for this, for the aces that she holds at the moment.
Amit Chopra racing from early position
Oh boy.
with the pocket first, gives up the hand, and it's back to Aishwarya, who's pondering a call with the pocket eights. Looks like a decent hand, and she does make the fold, very disciplined fold. Deepika is not liking this.
Wow.
Second
Folks,
time
you
around.
can see her just, pulling her chips in, and I'm sure she's happy about that.
I
But
feel bad for her. I feel
she
really
is
bad for her.
raging inside. She is absolutely raging that she didn't get some.
It would have been a great hand, a great spot for her to double up just a minute out, from the break, and she would have, really enjoyed. She would have taken that break with a lot of relief, having doubled up. But unfortunately, she does not get any action.
टाइम में ब्रेक के लिए और कितना लंबा ब्रेक
This
है
might just be the last hand that we see
1600 to call.
before we go into a break.
Fold.
The Pataks have been quiet at this table. Raghav Hada, the new player that we saw in the hoodie and the satchel.
Aha.
32.
Wait, Raghav Hada is Raghavendra Hada.
Fold.
Yes.
Alright, so for those who don't know, because obviously you can't see him from this angle, Raghavendra Hada is actually one of the winners, title winners from the last edition of the IPC.
He shipped the bounty event, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. One of the very few people who was lucky enough. In fact, he was the only title winner who actually got his trophy from Dan Bilzerian, the king of Instagram, who was at the IPC September event. And he got his trophy from Dan, and it was a pretty sweet moment. I saw a few pictures that he put up on Facebook with that trophy ceremony.
Yeah, that just made that whole win double as sweet as it could be. Getting awarded by the Big Daddy himself at the Big Daddy Casino.
Oh, yeah.
What a moment it was to see Dan Bilzerian in the casino. I don't think I've seen that kind of energy ever in a casino.
Absolute chaos at the entry of the boat.
It was electric. It was amazing to have, and what a comeback you all made with the last edition in September. All the events were guarantee crushing. Dan Bilzerian was there. There was a lot of magic happening, and I'm sure this time around as well we're gonna see that. Here we see the players going on break. We will be back soon. Stay with us. We will be joining the stream back shortly with the feature table at the IPC Kickoff event here. A bit. We'll see you soon.
So, it's all over. 5 incredible days of this return of the India Poker Championship. What a journey it's been. It started on day 1 with lines flying out the door to show up for the 10K kickoff event. 437 entries on that day. Siddharth Mundara topping that field, taking home the first trophy and 8.8 lakhs for his effort. We also had a satellite running for the main event. 13 people got seats into the main event from there. Then the next day, the high roller kicked off. The big boys, 100K they put down to play. 207 of them entered. We got a 2CR prize pool. We got 51 lakhs for first place. And Pranay Chawla was the name of the man that took that down. Then of course we had day 1A of the main event kickoff. 390 people turned up. Imagine that for a 35K entry and a 1.6 CR prize pool that was guaranteed. Day 1B exceeded all expectations with 387 entrants at the total player count of 777. Prize pool 2.6 CR. 1 CR over the guarantee. How about that? 777. Love the number. That went down to the final table. There was contenders, there was Dhaval Mudgal, there was Ashish Ahuja, but in the end, only one could be crowned champion of the India Poker Championship, and that was Raj Talwar, who took home 49 lakhs and a 7 Friday watch, which was incredible. And then in a beautiful gesture of sportsmanship, he gave the 7 Friday watch, which he also won, to his opponent, the runner-up Ayush Garg. Then we had the final event, the closing event, the 15K Headhunter, which was a bounty format that was taken down by Raghavendra Hada, who took home 7 lakhs for his efforts and a whopping 18 bounties worth 5K each. Very well played to all of our champions. And if that wasn't enough, the final little cherry, but not little at all, the icing on the cake was that Mr. Dan Bilzerian himself was down here at the India Poker Championship to interact with our community, which is amazing for the prospects of this great poker playing nation. And that was that. The IPC in a nutshell. What an experience, what a journey. We can't wait to be back on the 4th of December when the IPC will return to shatter all records once again, no doubt. We hope you enjoyed it.
You better win this event now, huh? You better win this now, Baba.
Я все видел, without water.
Just one to me, na? I won't dent you also.
Just cash.
Won't even dent you. मतलब खरोच भी नहीं लगेगी.
Чё? Вот это вы, блядь. Что там, blind? 1500?
Yeah, मेरे पास no है.
चेंज करना ही पड़ेगा हटा रहे चिप्स 100
Button good.
No, you can give me one blue for 900. 100, good luck. You never know, it might change my luck.
Thank you. 2000 to call. You first. Fold. Wait. Fold. Fold. Fold.
This way.
Yellow.
4,500. Fold.
हाफ करो इसका
4,500. Fold. Fold. 2,500 more to call. Call. Check. 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 $7,500.
आपने क्यों जमा कर लिया 100 हम लोग 100 ने क्यों जमा कर लिया आपने
18,000.
बड़े कौन से हैं
Call.
Right?
18. Yes.
Nice. What a flop, man. What a turn.
The 10K kickoff feature table live stream. All smiles at the table, and we are back at the IPC 10K kickoff feature table, coming to you straight from the Big Daddy Casino in Goa. The first day of the India Poker Championship. There you see the chip counts.
Small blind, big
This is,
blind.
of course, Richard Haridasom bringing to you the commentary. Peter is going to join us shortly.
Wait.
Rajat Pathak losing a little bit of his chip stack. He was up to about 150k. Aishwarya looking at King 9 off from under the gun. She makes a disciplined laydown.
Fold.
Rajat Pathak with a lot of chips in front of him
Call.
decides to limp the ace jack off. Right behind him, Pradeep Pathak wakes up with a bigger hand, ace queen of hearts, and Amit Chopra picks up a bigger hand right behind him, and we see two limps from two decent hands, the ace jack and ace queen. Let's see if Amit decides to pump it up. He's from small blind, which means he's going to be out of position for the rest of the hand. He might want to put in a raise here. He does look like he is making a raise there. 6.5k to play. I think easy calls for Rachit and Pradeep right behind them.
100 more.
Unless we see a limp 3-bet from either of the players.
Call. 3 players.
And as suspected, both of them call. We go to a flop 3-way with 3 big aces, and the worst hand is now in the lead. Rachit Pathak's ace jack is now best to win this hand. Jack 5-7 with 2 hearts. Pradeep Pathak picking up a lot of equity with the hearts there. He has a nut flush draw with the ace queen. Amit unfortunately breaking this board. Rashid cutting up some chips. He likes this board. He would like to make a bet. He's already 23,000 in the middle. Rashid putting in a bet. 14,500. He goes for about 75% of the pot. Little less than 75%. Pradeep Pathak definitely is going to be in the hand. He is loving life with the ace queen of hearts. 2 overs to the board as well as a flush draw. He's almost even to win the pot, even though he doesn't have a pair. We go to a turn. It's another jack. That gives a lot more equity to Rachit. He is got trip jacks. Let's see if he's going to slow down or he's going to continue the aggression. Of course, we know that he should bet because Pradeep Pathak might not give up this hand that easily.
8,000.
Although against the trip jacks, he is drawing very thin.
Call.
There we see getting sticky with the flush draw there. 28,000. He makes the call. And we continue the battle of the Pathaks. Rachit Pathak decides to go all in on the river.
Call.
We know for sure Pradeep has no business to be in this hand after that 9 bricks off the river. And another big pot picked up by Rachit Pathak. He is extending his lead and he is on fire. Rachit shows an ace, getting cheeky there. And Rachit definitely needs a lot more space for all the chips that he's accumulated. There we see he's got 42%, almost 200,000 chips under his belt. Second to him is Aishwarya with 53,000. Huge gap between the first and second of the table. Bikash Rai is down to 3 big blinds. He is pretty card dead for a while. He's been hanging around. He needs to do something real quick. As soon as the big blind hits him, he's going to have to put about 75% of his pot. So not a good spot to be in. Let's see if we can make a comeback. All you need is a chip and chair. And Rachit Pathak he's got another playable hand. This time around he makes a raise to 5,000. Bikash Rai looks down at ace 7. And he makes a fold. Archit Khandelwal moves all in for 17,600 chips with the pocket tens. I think it's going to be an easy call for Rachit. He's got the ace king. He's got a lot of chips behind him. And it's going to be 12,000 for him to call. He makes an easy call there with the ace king. And we're going to go to a flop with a classic flip between the ace king and pocket tens. And a king on the board. Rachit is all set to win this hand unless a 10 shows up. No bueno. Rachit picking up another pot, adding 22,000 chips to his already massive chip stack. And we have Archit Khandelwal leaving this table. He's eliminated with pocket tens. Bikash Rai bringing up the rear with 3 big blinds. He's got the shortest stack for a while, but somehow other players have been finding the rail before him.
Giving 100 and getting stacks.
That's the good thing.
Of course, yeah.
The blinds are now 1K, 2K with a 2K big blind ante. Rachit Pathak Again getting a little frisky now with the queen 10. Early position raise. Bikash Rai finds 8s and he is going all in for his last 3 big blinds.
Fold, fold, fold.
Deepika is in a fix. She's got a decent hand to play. Does she want to gamble? Yes, she does want to gamble. She goes all in for 21,000. Rachit Pathak in a slightly tough spot because he has made a raise with a weakish hand and he very rightly gets away. It's going to be the ace-10 of Deepika Agarwal versus Bikash Rai's pocket 8s. It's going to be a small pot. Deepika gets the remaining of her chip stack back. So she is only going to be risking about 6,000 chips against Bikash Rai. Bikash Rai stands to get eliminated if an ace or a 10 pops up. The board looks good for him. The queen on the turn is also a safe card, and so is the 7. Bikash Rai doubling up there with the pocket 8s. Very much needed pot for him. He has been hanging around his table for a while, finally picks up a decent hand and now doubles up. He's still short. He's got about 11,400 chips, but he definitely has more chips than he previously had, which is great. And while we see that all in hand, we have Peter Abraham making a comeback to the booth. Rachit Pathak over 200k, 46% of the chip stack. He is dominating this table. Deepika Agarwal now the shortest stack with 7 big blinds. And Bikash Rai, for a change, is not the shortest stack at the table. Not to forget, Rachit Pathak's raise gave a little more dead money in the pot, which Bikash will not complain about.
Raise 4,500. Fold, fold.
Amit Chopra opening Jack 3 suited. Welcome back, Peter.
Thank you, thank you. Much needed break. I took a little longer than I expected, but here we are. And just had a look at the board. We are now under 100 players left in this 10K kickoff. And I've just been informed by the TD that we will be playing till level 18.
Small blending.
Deepika is surprisingly cheery considering that she's the shortest stack on the table, but she's always been one of those upbeat sort of individuals. So I'm sure as long as she's at the table, there should be some fun discussions, I'm guessing. Time for me to go into the Thakur mode with the shawl.
You missed a big pot between the Pathaks. The battle of the Pathaks is still continuing.
Alright.
Rachit getting the better of Pradeep this time, and he is now over 200k chips. We again see Pradeep limping with King Queen off.
Fold, fold.
He's trying to be a little more conservative considering he has a short stack. Raghav with the Ace King makes a raise to 7k. Tough call for Pradeep.
Fold. Heads up.
He does choose to make a call and see a flop. 8, 5, 10 rainbow. Nothing in it for both the players. Raghav Hada, of course, the pre-flop raiser. The action is to him and he makes a check. We go to a turn, which is again a 3 of clubs. Nothing to talk about. Both of the players check, and then the 10 on the river completes the board. Raghav Hada has Ace King high, and he'll pick up a nice pot.
You should know you're running very hot, huh?
Pradeep Pathak with that hand goes sub 20k. He's now one of the shortest stack at the table.
Battle of the Pathaks, it's all in the family? Well, no, they're not really related. So it's every man and woman for herself, himself. This feature table here.
We have a new player joining in.
Fold.
Amit Chopra waking up with the 10s. He's UTG +1.
Seat number 1 had Archit Khandelwal when we had left you to go into break.
4,500.
And did we lose?
Yeah, we lost Archit.
I mean, from this tournament, not from Perth per se.
Again, we see pocket 10s versus Ace King. Raghavada goes all in. That's a big shove. 54k.
Fold.
Amit Chopra has to call off the rest of his 49k chip stack.
Yeah, make or break time.
He's gone in the tank. He's thinking about it. It's a big call for his tournament life. I think Raghavada just about covers Amit Chopra. He looks like he's going to fold. Does not probably want to play such a big pot. $53,000 chips is about 25 big blinds. Still a decent stack to negotiate this tournament.
Boy, this is like a really tough decision for anyone in this space. Amit Chopra, again, choosing to play a little bit more coy, giving up that hand.
So Pradeep, Deepika, Bikash, 3 stacks which are sub 10 BB. They are going to look for a double up very quick. Bikash Rai has been he has been at 7 to 8 big blinds for quite some time.
Yeah, just hanging on for dear life.
Three.
So we have what we call coloring up. The small chips are being taken away from the tournament to enable faster play. And what we're seeing at the moment is the dealer is dealing high cards so that the additional chips can be distributed to whoever gets the higher card from the draw.
And those two lucky recipients are Raghav Hada and Aishwarya.
So there we go. The smaller chips are off. The purple chips, I believe they are hundreds and they are off the table. We're going to play with the big chips since we are now in the 1K, 2K zone.
You 4,000. 2,000 people. Fold.
Suddenly we see Deepika getting a little more serious. She probably has made up her mind to get into the action.
Yeah, she's just looking for like a couple of decent cards. It doesn't matter. She's not going to wait for too long.
Probably the right thing to do. It's one of those times where the blinds are going to keep getting higher, and it's important to keep accumulating chips so that you still have a fighting chance.
Raise 4,500.
Having too many short stack at the table also changes the dynamic of the game. The players with a big stack get an opportunity to bully the table, get a little more aggressive because the other players will be factoring in the fact that there are 3 players with less than 10 big blinds who can shove any time, making it a little more difficult for the middling stacks to participate in more hands.
Yeah, at this point in time, you either want to be one of the bigger stacks or you don't have, well, shall we say, not much to lose. If you're one of the shorter stacks, the decision is going to be pretty simple for the shorter stacks.
Yeah, I think it's just going to enable them to make very easy decisions, not think too much. When you have 10 big blinds, you're literally waiting for a hand to double up. You're not going to play post flop at all. And that's what Bikash, Deepika and Pradeep Pathak are in that territory.
Fold.
Pradeep Pathak lets that one go. Rachit picking up a nice pot from the button, making a raise with Queen Deuce. Exactly doing what we were speaking about, dominating and using his chip stack to his advantage.
top four stacks, I should say, sitting relatively comfortably.
We haven't seen Rachit Parihar and the new player at the table, Abhishek Sharma, in action yet. And hopefully Rachit Parihar also gets into the mix. He's got a reasonably decent stack, about 40k. Nothing to worry about, but still shortish. Would want to pick up a decent playable hand and accumulate more chips. Aishwarya Khurana makes a call with the ace-6 of diamonds.
1000.
Rachit again making a raise with 9-7 suited, trying to isolate the play.
Abhishek Sharma in seat 1 with a pretty decent hand. In fact, he's leading the percentages at the moment. And he moves all in for 26,000 chips. That gets Aishwarya out of the way.
What a great spot for Abhishek Sharma to have made that move. Rachit does not have a playable hand, and Aishwarya obviously with already raised spot is not going to get in the mix with the ace-6. Would be very surprised if Rachit finds a
I
call
guess
here.
he's Hollywooding right now because
He does fold. He does fold. It looked like he called.
It looked like, I was really
Yeah.
for a second there.
Rachit getting caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He is getting frisky with the middling hands like Queen 10, 9-7. He does not want to keep the pressure off. He wants to keep accumulating chips, which is, I think, the best strategy he could be using.
And his stack is so big at the moment that he can afford to take these shots.
Absolutely.
With those middling cards that he has and get away with it. That 5k bet really didn't cost him too much, and he was savvy enough to get out of the way once that overbet from Abhishek Sharma came through.
And with that, we have a new blind level. 1.5k, 3k with a 3k chip, big blind ante. 85 players left in this tournament. We started with a little over 300.
Check. 8 players. You first. Check.
And it's a family pot. We go to a flop, ace, king, jack. Of course, we don't know what Amit Chopra has.
8,000.
Pradeep Patak's moved in, hitting his jack on that flop.
32.
I think once you call with jack 9, you have to go with it. You have a decent piece of the flop, and having two checks to him, Pradeep Patak decides it's time to rock and roll. Puts the stack in the middle.
Nothing.
Amit Chopra showing a 6 of spades. He doesn't have much to speak about. He is going to make that fold. Pradeep picking up a nice little pot there.
1,005, 2,005.
He's bumped himself up to 16,000 in his stack, and well, there's still a fair way to go before he can be in a place where he can impact the action a little bit more. Third from the bottom, and Rachit Patak with that massive 200k stack and playing table captain at the moment.
I haven't seen Rachit play before, but I'm very impressed by the way he is dominating this table.
Yeah, he's not letting the action slide. He's making sure that the pressure's on, and that is really the role of the chip leader at the table, to try and drive the action to a point where the shorter stacks feel compelled to move in.
I'd like to see an open here by Abhishek Sharma. I think he's a competent player to be able to put some pressure from the button using his position.
7,000.
That's exactly what he does,
5,000 on the ball.
making it a 2.5x bet. Unfortunately for him, Raghavada picks up a real hand in the big blind.
And he pushes back.
He goes all in. Raghavada is here to play.
I think that's the end of the action as far as Abhishek Sharma is concerned. Although I have been wrong in the past.
Yes.
Struck by the commentator's curse.
This time around, you were right though. Abhishek Sharma makes the fold with the Queen 9 off.
Thanks, Raghav. Izzat bachali. As you can see in the background, the India Poker Champion signage that's being flashed out there. That's the big highlight of this series, the crowning of the India Poker Champion, which will take place on Sunday evening. The National Poker Champion being crowned, who will receive a sponsorship from Spartan Poker worth 20 lakh rupees for live tournaments, and that very cool Panerai watch, which is a limited edition. And of course, that gorgeous trophy,
I wouldn't mind one person being there.
which goes to the India Poker Champion of the 2020 season. Deepika Agarwal picks up a decent hand, Jack 10 for her stack at this moment. She will be happy to put that in there. And
This time around, she's happy she did not get any calls. She made a brave push there from under the gun. She knew she had to pick up a hand before the blind hits her. And easy pickings.
a random table being shown on our webcast at the moment. The action continues across the floor here at the Big Daddy Casino. A lot of players aiming to get to day 2. That's going to be their first objective. And we will return for the action tomorrow and the culmination of this 10K kickoff event and see the crowning of the latest IPC title winner.
We also have the high roller tomorrow, which is going to start at 6 p.m. That's again something to look for.
A 1 crore guarantee on that particular tournament, which features a buy-in of 100,000, and I would assume that all, if not most, of the top names in the sport will come to the poker room and take part. Ace King of Diamonds for Aishwarya Khurana, I beg your pardon, who makes it.
Deepika moves
7.5.
all in with the King Queen. She is not going to be happy to see the Ace King of Aishwarya. Of course, Aishwarya is still to call. Action to Pradeep Pathak. He's going to lay down the Ace Deuce. Should be a fairly easy call for Aishwarya.
11,000 more.
She's going to risk a third of her stack. But Ace King of Diamonds, she's not going anywhere.
Deepika wants a queen.
Or 2. Boy, those 2 diamonds on the flop really not going to make her happy.
And we have Deepika, the next elimination at the table. She played really well. She was patient for a long time, but she gets slightly cold-decked against the Ace King of Aishwarya Khurana.
Yeah, it was a bit of a swingy stay for as long as she was at this feature table. But the fat lady has sung, and she must leave this tournament and head to... Well, I would think a drink would be appropriate at this point in time.
Indeed.
Drown our sorrows and come back to fight another day tomorrow. And as we wait to see who takes up that vacant seat, the next hand in progress.
very surprising shove there with the Jack 6. Abhishek Sharma decides it's the moment. He is not going to wait. He is going to punt.
96,500.
I hope he really has Jack 6 and this is not,
Yeah,
not
kind
some
of
sort of a
glitch, yeah,
glitch.
because it's a boss move if that is
It
the
is,
case.
and it goes his way. He picks up the blinds, much needed for him. 31,500 now. His stack. We have a change of dealer. The blinds 1.5, 2.5k with a 2.5k chip ante. A lot of short stack at this table now. We have 5 players with sub 20 big blind stacks. Rachit Pathak is still the chip leader at this table. I did play a little bit with Abhishek Sharma the last time I had a chance to play at the IPC. He is an experienced player and I would like to see him in action. And there, like I said, we will see him in action. He's picked up a very big hand. Pocket queens. And all Abhishek is thinking is whether I should raise or move all in.
I think Pathak's going to come along for the ride. He's got a pretty decent hand himself.
Also, he's got only 11,000 behind. He's invested about 2.5k already. I think it's one of those moments where Rachit Pathak is back in action with the best hand in poker, ladies and gentlemen. Pocket aces. What a nice time to pick up this hand.
मतलब ये तो rich getting richer वाला scene हो गया.
Now he's just showing off.
Yeah, just like all in is what he says, and
This
the triangular.
This might just save Pradeep Pathak. He might decide he doesn't want any piece of the action, and he does. He moves away. He saves.
That was a
lot
lucky
of money.
break.
Abhishek Sharma is not going anywhere with the pocket queens.
Yep, there's that face. We know what that means, but anything can happen on
I
the flop.
literally cursed Abhishek Sharma, and I'm feeling extremely bad. I think we should see a queen in the window.
Ooh, okay, that's not a bad flop.
Open-ender. All right.
All right.
This could get interesting. And he does hit it straight. Abhishek Sharma now 94% and he wins this hand.
And the rich aren't getting richer.
Are not, indeed.
That's a nice double up for Abhishek Sharma. That's the look of absolute relief.
You could literally
Ladies and
see him
gentlemen.
go.
Yep.
And one of those rare moments where you see Rachit Pathak lose a hand.
He can afford it.
He does still have the biggest stack at the table with the 175k chips. Not too much of a problem. He's got enough chips to play. There we have it. Raghav Hada, the second chips. And Abhishek Sharma now moving up to third place with 69,000 chips.
Just be happy.
Everyone with a decent chip stack. The short stacks still need a lot of work to do. I did not curse Abhishek Sharma. I'm happy that he won. I think I will take some part of the credit for that victory. Raghavada looking down at Queen Jack suited in the hijack. 6K to play, he says. Rajat Parihar, haven't seen him in action. He has a semi-playable hand with pocket threes. He decides to lay it down. Does not want to play post-flop with that hand. Rachit Pathak with the ace-8 offsuit, thinking about it. He is out of position. Interesting to see how he would like to play this hand. An aggressive 3-bet, 26,000. That's a large sizing. Putting a lot of pressure on Hada. He's going to have a very tough call with the Queen Jack. He's essentially asking Hada to commit his stack. Let's see if Raghav can figure this out. No go. Raghav Hada releases his hand. A very nice 3-bet by Rachit Pathak. He is determined to get back all of his chips that he just lost with the aces. Gets a nice little 11K pot, adding to the biggest stack on this table.
If you're just joining us, this is the webcast of the first event at this India Poker Championship 2020 edition, the 10K freeze out, which drew 315 players to participate today, and we're now down to, I think, about 80 players, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I think we should be around 70-80 players. We did see 85 players left a little while ago. Rachit moving all in with the Jack Deuce from the button. He is putting max pressure on this table. Pradeep Pathak calls for his last 8.5K. He is ahead with the Queen 10, but Pradeep Pathak at risk, and we are going to see a board very shortly. We have something for both of them, a Queen and a Jack. Pradeep still ahead. And Pradeep gets a nice little double up to 21,000 now. Rachit knew from the button that there are two short stacks next to him, and he decided to pump in all of his stack, forcing Vikash and Pradeep to make a decision for their stack. Pradeep, of course, making a great call there with the Queen 10. Vikash now down to the last two big blinds. Vikash on the dealer button, so he'll get an opportunity to see about 7 hands before he is forced to put a blind in. Amit Chopra waking up with pocket queens under the gun. He's the first player to act. And those are raising chips. 6,000 to play. Joining this table is Prashant Baturia, a very familiar face in the poker circuit. Meanwhile, we have a raise by Amit Chopra with the pocket queens. Action back to the small blind. Pradeep Pathak who makes a call for 4.5k.
Yeah, the pocket queens have been showing themselves up on this feature table for a while now. That ace can't make either of those players too happy.
What do you think of Pradeep's call there with the Queen Jack? He put in 25% of his stack out of position against.
I think that's exactly what the move that we're seeing right now is pretty much what he was trying to, I guess, do. Make the call and try and steal it on the turn.
Amit Chopra has been very coy, sitting pretty. He has tried not to get into. Yes, he makes the fold. He has. What I was saying was he's trying not to get into very sticky spots, and he's been very disciplined, and he has made a big fold here with the pocket queens. Of course, we have the liberty to see that it's not the right fold. And what you're looking at your screen at the moment is the VPIP, which is the voluntary put-in pot, which means how many times a player has decided to put in chips and participate in the hands, besides the blinds, which are the forced bets.
Of their own free will, not because unki maa kisi ke kabze mein hai.
Sorry, man. So we see Rachit Pathak's with the highest VPIP. He's been the most active person in this table.
And rightfully so, as the chip leader at the table, he wants to make sure that he keeps putting as much pressure as he possibly can.
And we have under the gun call by Raghav Hada. We of course don't know what his hand is, but I think we can guess.
Aishwarya Kanchan makes it 5k to go with her pocket nines.
And Rachit Parihar, I feel bad for this guy. He's been around at this table. He's not picked up one playable hand.
He's really treading water. It's been like such a struggle. Raghav Hada, can we see your hand?
Yeah, Raghav makes the call with a mystery hand. We see a flop. Of course, he has to contest the pocket nines of Aishwarya Khurana.
Are they talking about chopping it? Yeah, let's chop
That
it.
would be nice.
Friendly poker.
Not a good flop for the pocket nines. A 10-eye board. We see two checks. A king on the turn, again checked. And we see... I think they did decide to run the board.
Alright, that pretty much ends it. Raghav Hada lets it go. And a nice little pot for Aishwarya Khurana.
Aishwarya has been playing again very cautiously, and she's been chipping up slowly, but now she has a decent chip stack. 76,500 now. Aishwarya has stacked Bikash Rai with two big blinds. He needs a lot of help. A new player.
He's another player who's been just hanging at this feature table for a while now. Ever since I started commentary with Suresh Menon earlier in this evening, Bikash Rai has been less than 10 BBs and it's just gone lower and lower, and then he manages to claw his way back and then he goes down again.
Yeah, it's been a real struggle for Bikash. But surprisingly, he's somehow managed to stay around.
He's been absolutely determined, which is great. Chip in a chair, my friend.
Chip in a chair. Aishwarya limping in under the gun with the ace-9 offsuit. Is it time, Bikash? You got two big blinds, bro. Let's do it.
There we go.
He is all in for 6.5k.
He's not going to be happy to see that 9 if Aishwarya,
He is
when she flips her cards open, I'm
dominated.
guessing, unless Pradeep Pathak has something serious with him.
Deep Pathak is not at the table.
Ooh.
That was not aces. I'm sure that was a technical glitch. Amit Chopra, playable hand. Amit,
He's going to be a little wary of Aishwarya behind him, so let's see what he does here.
Yes, he is making the right decision, going all in and putting max pressure on Aishwarya. The good thing for Bikash is now he has 2 live cards in case Raghav folds. Of course, we don't know what Raghav has.
Why do we not know for the second time in a row what Raghav has?
I think Raghav wants to be mysterious and
Yeah,
not let us know
he's
what
got
he
the
has.
look going all right. So,
Oh my
Ooh.
God, we see a 3-way all in.
okay,
All right.
let's see it.
Okay, this is way too mysterious for my liking. I
Yeah.
really want to see what that. Oh, he has pocket jacks.
All right.
Raghav has
Pocket jacks, my friend. Not the friendliest of hands, I should say. Oh ho!
Wow.
Well, it suddenly became lovable altogether.
And is that the ace king winning? Yes! That's a full house. Oh my God, that has been a roller coaster
That's
this
a
end.
crazy hand. Wow.
Jacks ahead, he had ace king, see the flop, see the turn. And then see
And
the
Amit
Wow.
Chopra.
Amit Chopra just walks
Oh,
away hard.
That's
my.
really unfortunate for Amit Chopra. He waited, was very patient
And
all
he had
this
two
while.
pair. How it
And
went
Raghav
back?
Harda
Come on.
winning that hand beautifully with a full house.
That was
How
some
can it do
wizardry
that?
right there.
लकी हो गए मतलब अब 10 तक बात तो लकी हो गए हाँ वो एक अलग बात है यार
Small blind, big blind. Anti please man, 2500 anti.
लगा था आज होगा भाई गलत सूख गया था ऑब्वियसली क्या अरे वो जैक 9 वो भी लेके बैठा ना प्रॉब्लम इज दैट
2500 to call. All in.
Well, we've just been informed by production that Raghav Hara, while he's lucky with his cards, he's not really placing them all that well. The RFID tracker on the table needs at least 3 seconds to register what the player's whole cards are. And he's been a little fidgety, I'm guessing.
He has, and I think he's going to be very happy, irrespective of whether he plays the cards right or not.
Yeah, that was a swingy hand.
Yeah, that was a really fun hand to watch. One moment we see someone with 2 pairs and trips, the next moment there's a straight, and then Raghav Hara comes from nowhere with a full house. That 10 repeating on the river. Raghav Hara making a nice payday there, a nice spot. I think he should be in the top 3 stacks now.
By the way, viewers, that's exactly how fast the action goes at the table. If you've been watching poker shows and you see all those zoom ins and slow-mos and all of those kind of plays that let you see the hand through and through, that happens only on those kind of shows. In the live scenario, the dealer just pulls them in and gets ready to set the deck up for the next deal. King Queen of Spades for Pradeep. Pradeep, I beg your pardon, Pathak. Raghav Hara again with a nice hand.
The last 30 minutes or so have been very entertaining on this table.
Yeah,
Lot
there's
of
been a
action
lot of
happening.
action. Yeah.
I think Raghav Hara taking the baton from Rachit Pathak and now becoming the most active person at this table.
Pradeep Pathak looks interested in making this call, and he does.
Pradeep has been choosing to see more flops. He's been making calls pre-flop. And why shouldn't he when he can flop top pair?
Yeah, that was a nice hand. King Queen suited, hits the Queen on the flop, and he'll be hoping that it stays this way
6000.
on the turn and river as well.
He bets out, makes a very small bet. Raghav should come along there. He's getting a great price to make the call. Of course, we know he's dominated. He only has the ace and some straight draws.
All right, that was the intent of that initial smallish bet.
Pradeep Pathak moves all in for his remaining 16,000 chips. Raghavada, of course, is not going to like to make this call.
One card to go and a third of his stack being committed into the middle.
Not
It's
a fun
really
spot.
not-
Not a fun
yeah.
spot.
It's really not going to be something that he'll be keen to pursue.
On
We
the
should
top.
see the end of this hand soon.
The top right of your screen, we can see the only 3 cards that can help Raghav win this hand.
The 3 bullets. Man, I like Raghav Hada's look. He's just got that whole hoodie, sunglass, poker intensity going, man. Like he could breathe fire through his nose at this moment. It just looks like very, very intense pick.
What do you think? Do you think he's actually pondering a call, or is this pretty much Hollywood and he's going to lay down this hand?
I know. I think he's considering the fact because Pradeep Pathak has been the short stack, and so maybe this is something that he's
Yeah,
trying
Raghav
to
definitely
do.
looks like he does not believe Pradeep Pathak, and he does make the call.
Wow, he does make the call.
Making the call with ace high.
Just 1 card to go.
Not happy, Raghav Hada. He goes with his gut, but this time around, Pradeep Pathak has a very nice hand.
Raghav Hada is saying he doesn't want to see the last card, it seems. But no, the last street must be dealt. And here we go.
Raghav does hit the jack, but it's not going to be good enough. King Queen, Pradeep Pathak takes down that hand.
Yeah, he looked pretty disgusted once the cards were flipped over. And
He was like, I don't want any part of this hand anymore.
That's pretty much the end of that. And as the cards go into the muck and get shuffled out, here's a look at the tournament room. On the right hand side in the light grey suit is Dexter Mercado from the Philippines, our tournament director for this series. He's been associated with the IPC in the September edition event and in past years as well. Boy, I do not envy the tournament directors and the kind of job that they have to do long hours into the night. And if you're a player, that's fine. That's kind of, it's entertainment, it's fun, it's your livelihood if you're a pro player. But I'm guessing being a TD can really get to you sometimes.
Yeah, and Dexter is very serious about his work. He's it's hard to get to talk to him when the tournament is on. He's always moving about, making sure all the players are comfortable, and all the rules and regulations are followed, which is exactly what the tournament director is supposed to do. He did a great job at the last edition, and he's here back, making sure everything is in order.
Little slick for Abhishek Sharma.
Little slick.
And some raising chips, I think.
Just to 9,000.
Yes, making it 9,000. We're seeing a slightly larger sizing by most of the players. Even Raghav Hada made it 10k in that hand where he lost against the King Queen.
Yeah, almost sort of priced himself in there at the end. Pocket fours for Rachit Parihar. But I don't want to play. And those cards go into the muck.
I think pocket threes and pocket fours are the only 2 playable hands Rachit Parihar got, and both times there was a raise in front of him and he decided to get away. He's being cautious. While one Rachit Pathak has been extremely active and has been making some moves, the other Rachit is trying to play straight up, and he is right now the shortest stack at the table with 10 big blinds. While on the other hand, the chip leader is Rachit Pathak with 177,000 chips. Prashant Bhutoria is second in chips. He's been quiet ever since he sat down at this table.
He's a pretty rock solid player, a lot of experience, and he's got the creds.
Absolutely, he's definitely a veteran at this game. He's been playing for quite some time, has a lot of accolades under his belt.
We have a new player joining in, whose name we do not know.
But he is going to be in Amit Chopra's seat, who took that really, really emotional roller coaster of a hand.
I'm guessing Amit Chopra is like somewhere in the corner of this poker room, just ruing on the fact that things changed with the turn of a couple of cards. Wow.
Yeah,
That was really a tough thing to swallow. Deuces for Prashant Baturia.
he is on the dealer button. He might want to make a call. Aishwarya Khurana has not made a raise. She made a limp with the 3K big blind from the cutoff. Prashant is raising chips,
10,000.
making it 10K.
Wow. Coming back to that earlier comment you made about sizing being on the slightly higher side.
However, this time around there was a limp in front of him, so I think Prashant is factoring in the limp from Aishwarya. That's the reason behind his sizing. Rajat Pathak picks up a playable hand on the big blind. We've seen him very active. He does make the call. King Queen, a decent hand there. Aishwarya looking down at the same hand. And
lets
she
it
makes
go.
a fold. Very surprising. I think she could have made a call there.
Yeah, there was enough in the pot to maybe justify that call.
Jack eye flop. Nobody has any piece of this flop. Prashant still in the lead with the pocket deuces.
Rajat Pathak hoping to get the luck that table captains often do with that gut shot draw of his.
Yes. We've seen him get aggressive. We might see in due course of this hand if he wants to take a shot, if he wants to steal this pot. Prashant Baturia with what you call deuces never loses.
Can't be all that nice having pocket deuces and then invariably you have overcards that open up. So
Prashant makes a check. I like the check, especially because
well,
did I speak too soon? That was a terrible check. He should have bet. Clearly that was the right move.
that's right. Production team, can we just delete the last few seconds of audio?
Yeah, horribly wrong prediction there. Rajat Pathak always finding himself with the best hand, turns the straight, and the check mark next to his cards indicate that he cannot lose this hand.
Very disciplined move. I mean, he didn't want to mess around there at all. And that's experience coming into play.
And I think it's also one of the reasons why I liked his check on the flop. The jack eye flop does not hit very well with his range that he would ideally have at this moment, and he kept the pot small, saw a turn, and gave up when he had to. Lost the minimum in this hand. Rajat Pathak picking up another pot.
And in seat number 8, joining this feature table, is a well-known name on the circuit, Ashwath Agarwal from the City of Joy. Kolkata, for those of you who didn't know.
I knew. Okay. My Shashwat, or bringing a masseuse along with him. Making sure he's relaxed and focused at this feature table.
There are some serious beards at this feature table, man. Raghav Hada, of course, he's got my vote right now. Most intense looking.
I think the beard competition is hands down Shashwat's alley.
Yeah, he's looking kind of like A cross between a rapper and a heavy metal vocalist.
I see it.
Good work, man. Some growls gonna happen soon if he gets a couple of bad beats, maybe.
And we go to a flop three-way. And who would have thunk it? Shashwat with the best hand.
Well, it ain't over yet. And our favorite friend, Rachit Pathak, decides that he wants some of this action. Putting out a bet of 4,000 chips on that turn card.
Appropriate moment to make the bet.
Shashwat ain't going anywhere, and neither is Pradeep Pathak with his pocket trays. Both players come along.
And Pradeep Pathak who moves into the lead with a straight. That's exactly
one
why.
Pathak or the other, it's all good.
It's the Pathak table at the moment.
Too bad Suresh Menon ain't here, otherwise you would have probably had some goofy comment about the surnames getting involved in this hand. Oh,
1500.
Shashwat does not suspect anyone has a 3. He of course makes 2 pair.
it's so disguised the way this board is opened up. It's really difficult for someone to feel like they would have had something going.
Pradeep Pathak coming from behind, winning this hand. A nice spot there for 25 additional 1,000 chips. He's now moved up to 93,000.
Right, people finally getting within sort of sniffing distance of our chip leader at the table.
This statistic is kind of flawed because Shashwat only played one hand, which is why his free-flop raise is...
Of course, math doesn't
100%.
lie.
We see Abhishek Sharma and Rachit Pathak being very active with the pre-flop raise.
Total 6,000.
Abhishek Sharma extremely disgusted by the 7 dues. Ritesh Khatwani, the new player at the table, lays down the 10-6 suited. Aishwarya does not want any piece of that hand. Rather cautious table at the moment. The short stacks are not willing to give away their chips.
I still think the Amit Chopra elimination has
Shaken on the table.
rattled people a little bit.
It shook me. That was a very, very interesting hand.
Yeah, it was done and gone before you knew it, and well,
I'm definitely going and checking that hand out, from the video.
yeah.
Shashwat picking up that hand from the small blind.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with heavy metal vocalist.
It's close.
Although his haircut is like very modern, very. Most heavy metal vocalists aren't that well groomed in life, so I think we might veer back to the rapper side of things. And what's not changed in the course of the last few hours of commentary is the fact that Rachit Pathak is sitting well on top of the heap.
Three- 3,000 to call.
Raghav Hara getting in the action with the King Jack of Diamonds, makes a bet of 3,000. Of course, Rachit Pathak, you have to call. It's all going your way. Shashwat goes out. Some screams of joy from the nearby table prompt the players to look that way as the dealer Fans out queen, deuce, 8.
4 players in this pot. Everyone misses.
Yeah, not even close on the color. Well, Abhishek Sharma does have a bit of that color.
$6,000.
Rachit Pathak, of course, leading this hand. He's the only one with a pair.
With his gut shot draw, Abhishek Sharma decides to fire out 6,000.
6,000.
Raghavada making that call with just king high and also a gut shot. And we're still 4 players to the river. Rachit Pathak with the best hand. It's pretty much the theme of tonight.
Yeah, it's almost anticlimactic, but then hey, it's Rachit Pathak.
16,000.
Abhishek
Boy,
Sharma.
he must be thinking he can't do anything wrong, and people are just feeding him chips at this point.
It's not going to be an easy call for Rachit Pathak, but we've seen him make some interesting calls, and this is going to be a tough call for him actually. Third pair, Abhishek Sharma makes a very good bet here. He knew nobody's interested in the hand. He set up a turn bet and he chose to make a nice little bluff at the end. He had the worst hand and he made the best of it.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why poker is a skill game. You need not have the best cards with you, and you can still take the pot down.
With that hand, Abhishek Sharma moves over the 100k chip mark. Second in chips now. Rachit Parihar needs to do some work. 9 BB stack is what he has left after folding pretty much the last couple of hours of the stream.
I like how Abhishek Sharma has been going about his play. He's been playing solid. That hand with the queens that he picked up a decent chunk of chips with, he's just kept that momentum going. So
3,000 to go.
good on him. He'll be hoping to consolidate a lot more
3,000
by
to
the
go.
end of this night. As mentioned earlier, level 18 is till when the players are going to play. And the action in the meantime is on Pradhan. I beg your pardon, Prashant Bhaturia, who's got the ace 10 of hearts.
Making a 2.5x raise with the ace 10 of hearts.
Yes. 7,500.
Like Peter mentioned, you cannot see the cards if the players do not put it in the right slots for the RFID to detect which cards are being held by the players. Prashant picking up the blinds. We haven't seen Ritesh Khatwani's second last in chips at this table. He hasn't played a hand yet. Well, neither has Rachit Parihar.
Yeah, he's looking for some help. It's not been too favorable a table for the shorter stacks. We've seen them
3,000
in
to
some
go.
cases have a swingy time and then exit. In
3,000.
other cases, it's been a quick end to the proceedings for them.
Aishwarya choosing to limp again. This time around, she has got the pocket fives.
All in.
And look who we have here.
Finally. He's been dying to get a hand to put it in. Oh my god.
Wow.
Well, that's
I
really
feel
not
bad
the best
now.
timing.
I feel really bad.
Call.
The two players I was talking about who are not playing a hand, guess what? They're in a hand.
I'll go harder with
Someone's gonna come and punch me
sixes.
tomorrow, Peter.
Just let us know in advance. We'll send production to cover that action. Alright, don't beat us, folks. We're just here to have a little bit of fun and bring you all the action from this 10K freeze-out event. Pocket Queens for Ritesh Khatwani, well ahead of the King Queen of Rachit Parihar.
Rachit Parihar, of course, the player at risk.
Ooh.
Interesting flop there. Jack will make a straight for Rachit. And
Oh my.
look what the turn brought in.
It's exciting, exciting, exciting.
Yeah, both of the players have a straight. Rachit Parihar has the better straight with the King Queen.
King में nut straight है.
Rachit, good on you, mate. You've been hanging in there for dear life. I feel for Ritesh Khatwani. Yeah, that shake of the head is just pretty much encapsulates everything that he's feeling right now.
Yeah, 6 pot for him. Picks up queens. The first decent hand he's got at this table. Moves all in. Gets called by a hand which is dominated, but Rachit somehow manages to make a straight. And with that win, the first hand he's played at this table.
अरे बुला यार उसको. ब्रेकिंग ही लिया भाई.
Ritesh Khatwani left with only 4 big blinds. That hand nearly took away most of his stack. 4 big blinds is what he's got left.
बुलाया उसको. उसको बुला ले यार. 3,000 NT डालो please. Order 6,000 डालना. 3,000 to go.
The dealer making sure that the blinds and antes have been put in properly by the players.
2,000, 4,000, 4,000 and
And with that victory, Rachit Parihar now loosening up a little bit, making a race. He's got chips to play with, and he makes a race to 8,000 with the King Jack of suit. Aishwarya with a playable hand, Ace Queen on the big blind. She decides to come along. We go to a flop, 2-way.
Check a bet.
8-6-2s, nothing in it for both players. Aishwarya still with the best hand. Both players check. And the board pairs with another 6 on the turn. Aishwarya choosing to make a bet of 10,000, and she is going to pick up that hand.
Line 2,000, 4,000. NT 4,000.
Lucky double. King queen, pocket queen. Straight हो गया.
$4,000 to call. Four. All in. All in. Yeah, sure.
Thank God, I need to fucking eat.
11,500. 11,500.
We have an all-in situation. Queen 9 versus the 9-7. Prashant Baturia. And with that, Ritesh Khatwani, who suffered that unfortunate beat a little bit earlier, is now heading for the exit. Boy, the River Gods really playing some favorites tonight. Oh no, Raghav, how you laughed? You've destroyed the illusion, my friend. What happened to that whole poker intensity thing? I mean, I was just hyping all of that for you, man. And then he gives a nice smile and well.
2,000, 4,000.
Alright, back to intensity again. 25% of the chips in play in the capable hands of Rachit Pathak.
The blinds are moving up to 2,000, 4,000 with a 4,000 big blind ante. We have lost
4,000 to go.
Rachit? No,
Ritesh
Khatwani. A short stint for him at this feature table of the IPC 10K Kickoff.
For our viewers, quick announcement that we will be running this live stream for approximately 1 more hour before we call it off for the night. But you can still follow live updates on the various media partners of this event. Poker Guru, Poker Shots, and of course Cut Shot Magazine. You can catch it on all of their websites and on their Facebook pages as well.
This table.
Oh yeah, there we go. Raghavada is back, baby.
Intensity, baby.
I like that little tilt to his head that's going on. Come on, Shashwat. Let's see those cards. There we go.
And we have Vatsal making an appearance at the feature table, obviously assisting.
And he's just been shooed away by the production team. All right, Vatsal. It's one of those things, man. 15 seconds of spotlight. That's all anyone gets.
4,000
Ace King for Pradeep Pathak.
This again is something very interesting at this table. We have seen a lot of limping happening, even with hands as big as Ace King. Pradeep Pathak sitting with 74,000, about 30 blinds, 25 blinds. He could have very well raised there. It was a great spot for him to isolate the spot, play it maybe 2 or 3 way, but he chooses to make a call. Abhishek Sharma taking the opportunity. Beautiful hand, Jack 10.
I really like the Jack 10, man. Suited is even better.
Even better. He comes along for that hand, and let's see if the blinds are interested to
Come on,
participate.
Rachit. There we go.
Rachit
7-3 of hearts.
is
I like it. He likes it.
Rachit suddenly opening up his game, and of course Rachit Pathak gets an easy check. He's got the 5-3 suit, 5-3 offsuit, but no money to be put in by him. He does a check, and we go to a flop, which we are having trouble seeing. 6-6-10 is the flop. Rachit Parihar getting a
Rachit
flush draw.
Parihar. Come on, Rachit. Do it for the other Rachit.
Abhishek Sharma betting with his Jack 10. Clip to 10 there with the 10-10-6 board.
All in.
Rachit Parihar
I'm with the underdog, man.
is chosen to move all in.
Well, not so much of an underdog move.
I think
real
Rachit
push.
Parihar has heard us talk
Yeah.
about how many hands he's folded, and he's flipped the
We
script.
can see you, my friend.
He's
I've had enough of these two idiots in the booth. Let me just put it in there. Pradeep Pathak's going to really not enjoy throwing away the Ace King, but hey.
You want to go?
back to Abhishek Sharma. He's got a fairly tough call to make. Of
61.
course, he's not.
Fair number of chips for his stack to make that call.
And what's interesting is Rajat Pariyar could very well have a hand like Ace-6 or King-6 because he's in the small blind. He only had to put in 2,000 to participate in this hand. So that kind of makes it a little more scary for Abhishek Sharma, even though that he has the best hand, easy for us to say. And
Yeah, you can see he's really running the scenarios in his head right now. Trying to put Rachit Parihar on a hand. He might just let this go. For all of the things that Richard has just said right now, those are very viable scenarios. And Abhishek Sharma has been playing pretty solid thus far.
I think I would have made this fold. I think I make this fold definitely because you have 90,000 chips. You have a lot of space to negotiate this tournament. There's no need for you to sort of risk about 50-60% of your stack. As far as ranges are concerned, the small blind can show up with a 6, and in case Rachit Pariyar actually has a 6, Abhishek Sharma has literally 2 outs with the 2 tens only to save him. So probably that's what Abhishek is thinking, that if he's dominated, he's really in a very tough spot, which I think is the only reason he's taking so much time to make this decision. Just trying to figure out whether there's a chance he could be ahead in this hand.
Boy, if he calls here,
That would be a terrific call.
it'll be an amazing call.
But
chances are that's not going to happen. It's just he's just been playing too solid. He's not all that much invested in the pot.
I think in the long run, folding is the optimal play.
Call.
But we, of course, don't know if Abhishek has picked up any tails on Rajit.
And he does flip open his cards.
Beautiful call there by Abhishek Sharma.
Wow. Very nice. And now he'd want it to stay that way. That's a nice
makes
card
a
for
better
him.
two pair. Oh,
Oh boy.
and Rachit Parihar makes a flush.
Yeah, that's right. Put those hands together, Rachit, because the gods are smiling on you, my friend.
Prashant giving him.
Prashant is, well, it looks like Prashant is congratulating him, but I'm telling you, he's just rubbing that dude for good luck. Let me get some of that.
Abhishek Sharma making a very thin call, and rightly so. He was ahead.
I think we'll let that go, but hey, poker is all about making those decisions. And from 315 players who started in this event, we're now down to the final 54. Play will continue to level 18. There's plenty of action remaining in this tournament. That's a couple of hours from now, couple and some change. And the remaining players, I'd say about 40-ish maybe, might remain by the end of the night.
Yeah, I think we should have a couple of tables starting the game tomorrow. We have a 3 p.m. start for the 10K kickoff day 2 tomorrow. We are expecting to get in the money by the end of today's play. If we get the stats right, 45 players will be paid. We'll have the payouts on the screen shortly.
And that will also bring into effect something which is known as, for the noobs who are watching this broadcast, it will bring into play something known as hand for hand. Richie, would you care to explain, please?
So as soon as we go near the money, what happens is to ensure that there is fair play, we stop all the tables and ensure that hand is dealt at the same time, so that we sort of do away with any unnecessary time wastage or any efforts that a player might unfairly use to stick around and make the money, which is why all the tables go on hold, and one hand is dealt to all the tables, which is under the supervision of the tournament director. And as soon as the hand is over, we confirm whether there have been any eliminations, so that there's no confusion over who is the last man to walk away with no money. And
The bubble boy.
the bubble boy is
Or girl. Or girl.
absolutely, is decided. So we will have hand for hand, for which we've been told that we will have to stop the stream so that all the tables are closely put together, so that the tournament director can ensure that everything goes as per the rules and regulations.
7,000.
So the reason why hand for hand was introduced back in the day, one of the main reasons was that in case of multiple eliminations, you would not know who was ranked at what position when they were eliminated,
Very
and therefore
true.
that would lead to confusion about who needed to be paid out and who would end up as the bubble without making the money. And so the concept of hand for hand came into place. Of course, the other thing that Richard mentioned, that unnecessary delays by one table or a couple of tables in order to make sure that they play slower than the others and things like that, in order to negatively influence the game or the outcome rather.
And since you brought up the fact about the eliminations, I'd also like to tell our viewers that in case multiple people are eliminated, the shorter stack is the one that becomes the bubble boy or bubble girl, and who is the one who will not get paid.
Well, I've just been informed, Rishi, that the bubble bust will not walk away empty-handed.
Really?
4,000
Yes.
to
So
go.
one of the people who've tied up for the event is Skydive, and the person who busts on the bubble of any of the featured events will win a chance to get a free skydive from this particular company.
Wow, I'll take it. That's amazing.
So diving off the table and then into thin air from a distance of 12,000 feet.
Wow.
Some people might call it crazy. For poker players, it's just another calculated risk to take. So a fun, exciting prize for the bubble boy or bubble girl for all of these featured events.
Yeah, of course, the player who gets eliminated on the bubble is sort of one of the saddest, because they've invested a lot of time and they don't get anything for their efforts. So in a way, this is great. I mean, it's something to show for your efforts, and obviously skydiving is super. I've never got the chance to do it myself, but yeah, if I was the bubble boy, I would take it.
Something to be said about the adrenaline rush at the poker table and diving, free falling from a plane back onto Mother Earth. That should be an interesting prize for the bubble boy or the bubble girl. In the meanwhile, action continues at this feature table. Once again, we will be bringing an end to the live stream of this feature table in about, well, I think just under an hour, in order for hand to take place. So all of these players that you see at the feature table will then be moved into the main tournament floor, so that the tournament directors can observe all the tables playing out hand for hand at the same time, so there is no chance of missing out on any action across the tables, because they'll all be sitting in
4,000
the
to
same
go.
area.
And even though you can't see the stream, all our media partners are going to keep updating you with who busted, who stayed in the game, who made the money. All of those can be caught.
How many lives were destroyed by the river gods?
You can
Well,
see.
emotions rather than lives, but whatever.
Raise to 9,000.
What is in the blue box that Prashant Baturia has in front of him, man? That seems quite... It seems a little too big for shades.
I think those are
Lunchbox?
shades. I could totally get behind the idea of having a snack with you at the
Yeah,
table.
I mean, like, there could be a little sandwich in there. Abhishek Sharma still perhaps thinking back to that hand he was involved in not too long ago.
He is literally steaming.
Just a tinge of disappointment.
All in.
All right.
Moves in for
Manoj.
Time to double up or go home.
the action is back to Rachit Pathak.
And he gets a call from the chip leader. All right, let's see what the gentlemen have. A scream for Rachit. I beg your pardon, for Abhishek.
35.
And another ace, a smaller one
30,500.
for the chip leader.
We've seen Rachit pull some stunts.
जीती गए इसमें क्या है?
Will he able to do it again?
All right, for
No.
once, the lower stack is claimed, rightfully so. All of the chips. That should maybe bring back a little bit of a smile onto Abhishek's face.
I really doubt, but definitely some relief
Can't
there.
hurt, yeah, can't hurt for sure. There we go. Just about 5 odd minutes left on this level 14, and we get closer to that bubble situation that we were talking about, the money bubble situation, where we will do, or rather the tournament directors will do a hand for hand. End of day 1A, as the board said, is at level 18.
4,000 to 4.
We will be bringing you the feature table and final table for the 10K kickoff tomorrow.
Which are essentially the same thing. The feature table will convert into the final table.
Absolutely.
4.
The high roller gets underway tomorrow, which again will have a day 2.
2,000 more to call. Check or ace. Check or ace. Check or ace. 5,000. Hold.
But we're doing it till the end of the level?
No, we're not.
Wow.
It's almost done.
Bluff भी नहीं करते हैं.
Well, Abhishek Sharma is back to smiling a little bit again. Although I'm sure he'll be happy if he gets a little more luck going his way. We've just been informed by production that we will take a break in the next 5 minutes, and that will actually be the end of our live stream for this evening. I know I did mention that we would finish in about 45 minutes from now, but the upcoming break seems as good a time as any for us to call up the action. But follow the action from this IPC 10K event on all the media partners, Poker Guru, Cut Shot Magazine, and Poker Shots.